Brandon Wilson. I'm I would say a long time. I've been throwing Trilogy for about a year and a half. Only Trilogy. Um, I'm loving it. I think that plastics in general, just the plastics, most of the major competitors with, disc golf is the plastic's almost the same. I feel like it's the mentality of the players and the people running the company that really make the Trilogy lineup really spark. Um, the media teams and the marketing, how much they try to grow the sport. That's what really drew me to Trilogy. How they how they choose the people that they endorse and really try to grow the sport, and that's what really got me on board, and that's what made me want to be only buying Trilogy and throwing Trilogy for the past year and a half year. Um, I guess we can start at my drivers in the bag. Um, the most overstables. Grab a hunk real quick. It's my Stiletto. Um, this guy, of course, is Stiletto. Get this about 300, maybe 325, with a really, really nice skip. What this guy's made for is skipping. I feel like if you want to really finish left, even after the flight of the disc, it's going to want to keep going left. Um, that's what was given to my brother gave this to me. It's a very predictable disc. These are my Gladiators. All three were dyed by my brother. He's very good at it. These two are twins, hybrid verdicts, not verdicts, hybrid Gladiators. This one was mine for its life. He dyed it for me, and then he dyed his. But he used it quite a bit more than me, because this one at the time was more of a utility disc, just the hyzer. But now I can actually get a flight out of this disc. It's pretty nice, and I have his now because it is quite a bit more understable from its use, so I can actually get it to turn and then fade. Very good for forehands. This guy can get him up to straight for a while, and he's going to reliably fade. Their bigger brother, the newer one, is a Gladiator, of course. So it's quite, and it not just that it's a domey Gladiator on top of it being new. Also dyed by him. Beautiful, beautiful disc. This guy is stable with plenty of glide, so it's gonna hold a nice hyzer line for probably 325, 350. It's quite a good disc to have in your bag. Disc that you know is not going to turn on you, but it's going to go far. That's what that guy's for. These discs, these two, the Culverin and the Zion, to me, brand new out of the box, fly almost exactly the same. The Zion, I had a Zion when I got this one in my bag, and when I threw them back to back, they landed within 5 feet of each other every time. This one's a newer one, so this one's my understable one because it's the same one. But this guy is quite a bit more overstable than it, where this one would turn. This one's going to stay straight and may get a slight turn. This one's going to pop over a little bit at 350, 300. And because of that, this is nice and comfortable for a flick, so it can handle the torque of a flick to where it won't flip. If I try to flick this one, it's most likely going to turn over and maybe even dump on me. I try not to flick that Culverin because it's so beat in. This is my flow. Recently, I've gotten it to turn a little much for me, so I'm still trying to figure out what place I have for this in my bag. But she didn't turn over. She just flew a lot more straight than I was intending. So I'm just still trying to get a feel for her. But I've loved the flow for a while. The one thing that confused me was this flow. This yellow flow isn't a flow. It's a whole different beast. It's not overstable, she is quite understable. And that was brand new. Just first time throwing her, almost a roller from a hyzer. Not what I wanted, and I haven't practiced the roller much, so once I do, I think this is going to be a great disc to have. So it stayed in my bag in case I need to throw a nice roller. But as of right now, I'm not throwing rollers. So about the only time I break her out is in a stiff tailwind. This is a new addition to the bag. Well, it's not a new disc. This has died quite a long time ago. It's a Long Bowman. By my brother, he died a Green Arrow on it. I think this is going to be like a felon for me. I'm not quite sure. I haven't actually really got to throwing it. This was a disc I've had in my room from when I first started throwing, and it was super overstable for me. So I'm going to try this out next time I'm out to see if it'll handle the torque beforehand and if it'll hold up to headwind. Someone told me, I forgot who, that it could handle it. It could handle some torque. So this is kind of in my bag. This is a St. Pro. Another disc. I've had this in my bag for the whole time, but I just didn't throw it for a while because when I first started playing, it was overstable, and I just had other discs that had that, so I just ended up not throwing it. But I've recently rediscovered this disc is beautiful. It just goes so far for being, what speed it is. I think it's an 8-speed or 7-speed. But it flies so far, dead straight. I'm really loving this disc recently. I'm really glad I kept that disc. These two are my distance discs. It's a Ballista and a Whirl. This Whirl is beat in quite a bit, so it's going to turn for me, even with just my muscle. If I'm going to get my lucky 400, 420, whatever, I don't think I've ever reached 420. I think I have before, but these two discs is what's going to get me there. This is good for any amount of headwind or wind. It's more overstable for me right now because, like I said, this one's beat in, so this will be turn. But this one will probably get a little more distance because of its turn. It'll get that nice S shot out of it. This one will turn a little bit for me on the full crank, but of course it won't get that nice flexing S shot. These two guys are another. I like to have the complementing pairs. Most people would use the same disc, but not I. This is a Fortress. Quite a bit overstable when it comes to its finish. Well, I guess it doesn't turn much either. This guy will. They both have a pretty good finish. This is a Villain. This guy's going to turn over. Not turn over. It's gonna fade 100% of the time. No matter how much headwind, no matter how hard I throw it, I'm not going to get a turn out of it, and it's going to fade. This guy may turn a little bit. As it beats in, I'm sure it's going to turn, but it's also still has that reliable fade at the end, so I'm actually really enjoying the Villain. But I know it's an OP now, so it's the last hurrah, I guess. These two are utility discs. The Triple X, really overstable. This one is. It is what plastic is this? Not moonshine. I keep wanting to say it's moonshine because of the dye job. But yeah, it's super flat, super overstable. And I usually use these Triple X's as utility discs for short hyzers to really get around a dog leg to the left. That's about the only time I break out these Triple X's. So I would categorize those as utility discs. Like my Justice is in here. These are my mid-ranges now, obviously, but this Justice really is just a head width. It's a Justice. I mean, I'm sure y'all know, but Beefcake gonna go left, no matter how hard or what you throw it. This is a harp, but it's not a harp, as in has more glide. or I guess because of the plastic, and it's still super overstable. You're not turning this over or turning it at all. It's going to go straight. I can't, at least. I can't turn it. So it flies for me much like my Justice. Maybe a little shorter in a way, because it doesn't have as much glide as the Justice, even though the Justice probably has way more fade. These are my other harps. This harp is beat in, but it's super predictable. It's beat in to where it's gonna turn a little bit, unlike a harp usually will, but it's almost lost its fade. That's what I love about this, guys. It's gonna finish straight instead of dumping like this one will. You need both shots, I feel like, for forehand, so I have both in my bag still. These are my favorite mid-range, though, when it comes to flicks and backhands, and that's the Verdict. This is my favorite disc in my entire bag. I can throw this backhand, forehand. Those are my only shots right now, so that's where I'm going to stop that. I love this disc. I can flick this 250, 300 predictably. It's going to turn. It's nice and beat in, so it doesn't fly like the other ones, but it's going to turn a little bit and fade real nice. I love this disc. These are a little bit more stable, these two. This one has more glide, but won't turn at all. This is going to be a nice hyzer disc. This guy will turn to flat from a hyzer and go straight. So it's less stable. This one probably has more fade too. This one has a little bit less, but this trio of disc is really nice. This is my Prime Verdict. It's good for rain and sticking. Where I wouldn't use a harp, maybe I would use this. This one's gonna grip whatever it hits because it's prime plastic. So that's why I have this one in my bag. And with the current rain probably in Jonesboro, I feel like this Verdict's gonna help me out in the middle of the round, maintaining my grip. This is a Truth where my orange Verdict may fade a lot. I won't say a lot, but this one's going to go straight, basically. This is my straight Verdict. Very predictable, very straight. Very good disc. As everyone knows, E-Mac Truth is amazing. These are my throwing putters. This one's my understable, putter plastic and all, you know. But this is my cranker. I can put all my power into this one, and it's going to hold its line. I've yet to see this one turn when I didn't want it to. So both of these are great. This one's going to hold. If I don't overpower it, it's going to hold whatever line I want. But this one's more overstable with maybe a little bit more glide. So I'm loving these two against each other. They're both Wardens. I currently putt with the Mercy. I love the feel and the bead because of the way I grip my putter, and the finger on the bead feels good. For me, the Keystone is something I was trying to work in to see if I'd like, but I don't think it's going to make my bag. It seems to be more understable. This is the match play version, so maybe with the harder version, because I putt hard, it'll be a little more stable, but I've noticed with my spin putt that it'll turn there at the end, and it's just a little less predictable for me, so I'm probably not going to be using it much. That's it. I got a couple of towels here. I got my sacks, my well sack, and my normal sack I use. I don't need chalk, I'm just trying to dry my hand. Be dynamic. Really nice to have these in your bag, especially, like I said, for that rain. It's probably coming up. But yeah, that's my bag. Yeah, I think that's it. Y'all have a great day.